The Situation Room, the only way to start your day.
Yes,
That's what it kind of feels like.
It's like a flashlight.
Yeah.
And there you are.
And it looks like today is going to be a busy day because there are two NDCs going on. One is an SNDC, the other one is a People's NDC.
Right.
And it looks like it's going to be very interesting. Is it Mfungamano House?
Fungamano House, yes.
That's where one is taking place, or at least starting off from there. And then the other one is taking place at Jacaranda grounds.
Ah, interesting. So which Linda are you wearing? You know, Linda is a skirt in Swahili. Linda.
What?
Linda is a skirt.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
There is Linda Mwananchi and there is Linda Ground.
So which skirt are you putting on?
So which skirt are you putting on today?
Okay, that's the question. That's the question, I guess, because it's what is actually taking people's attention and actually formed part of our conversation this morning.
Right.
Friday, the 27th of March, looks like we'll know at the end of the day what it means. People have said many things.
Yeah.
Folks have purported chaos. Others have said that it will be the truth. It'll be, the true picture of then what's going to happen in the future. It's all a wait and see kind of thing. Let's wait.
And as they're saying, it's the barrier of ODM.
Yeah. So yesterday, the party chair of ODM was here.
Yeah.
And basically we asked this question. I mean, it's obvious that there's something going on. And she seems to say, no, ODM is intact. But she said it with a bit of a softer tone when she said that.
Yeah.
So, if optics is anything to go by, it looks like it could possibly be the straw that breaks the camel's back in this case. It's all a wait and see, and it forms part of our conversations that we'll be having today. So good morning, everybody. Karibu sana, and welcome. Ndu and Joe with you in the Situation Room on this Friday, the 27th of March, where a lot of things are happening, and we're here for it. EVE, good morning. Mutano, good morning. Joy B, good morning. Everybody who gets this together, Karibuni sana, thank you for doing that today with us. Like you do every day. Our audience on KTN, welcome. Thank you for using this channel then to be part of the conversation. Our live streams are up on YouTube, Facebook, and on X. And everybody who listens in on terrestrial radio through the country and then into the region on our different platforms and indeed the world, this is the Situation Room. And thank you for being here at 18 minutes past 6 o'clock. Let me tell you what our conversations will be like today. As Joe steers it, we'll talk at 7 o'clock with Professor Zul Merali. He's the founding director of Brain and Mind Institute at the Aga Khan University. This is our Healthy Friday conversation.
Yes.
Did you know there's something called brain rot?
Brain rot?
Brain rot.
Why would my brain rot?
It's not like it's,
not in the biological nature.
Not in the biological nature where
yes.
things start to break down and then there's a certain stink to it. But that maybe you're not as sharp as a tack or not as sharp as you used to be. There seems to be some befuddlement somewhere. You're not quite sure.
Right.
Maybe it's a combination of memory loss and that's a degeneration. I don't know. I'm just using big words to make it sound like I know what I'm talking about. That's why we have an expert who's going to come into the room to help us understand what this is. Exactly.
Okay.
So our Healthy Friday conversation today is around social media and brain rot. That there are individuals in this society of ours who live, breathe, and consume social media all the livelong day. Does this have anything to contribute to now our output? That have we seen decreased levels of output because we're not exercising our brains, that we're looking at the videos and then we're looking at the pictures, watching the videos, we're looking at the pictures, but are we engaging intellectually? Are we reading? Are we building? Maybe the last time somebody built was when they were in school and you had to be tested for an exam. We'll talk about this with Professor Merali at 7 o'clock.
Interesting.
Yep. Kitty Mwaga, is the Secretary Policy and Legislative Affairs with KANU. Advice Mundalo is the Leadership and Communication Specialist. We're doing the Week in Review. And, of course, the Week in Review then takes into things that are happening today as well. We'll have a conversation about the politic of the day and look into that. And we'll steer that conversation with these two gentlemen at 8 o'clock. And then we're going to end at 9 with Crisis Economy. Who benefits from Kenya's disasters? I don't know if it's an era that I'm in, but I really do feel, and probably history books and even current books that are written will point to this, that if we see the underlayer, that there is somebody, not just Kenya, but there are particular people who benefit, countries, nations, administrations, who benefit when there's underdevelopment in other countries.
Yes.
Can't tell me otherwise.
I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, if really there were no beneficiaries, that industry would have collapsed. in my opinion.
Yeah.
So people have to sustain that business
Yeah.
because of whatever they derive from.
It's just like you have the United Nations, you have the Security Council, and then you have the P5, which are the ones who, it doesn't matter.
Yes.
You said let's form the League of Nations. You decide that you're going to be the principals of it forever, as in forever. Milele na milele. You've decided we are going to be the big boys.
Yep.
But it's a United Nations. You decide. Then you decide that somebody has some dollars that you got as a result of after the war, which you plundered resources from. And then you decide we're going to form the IMF and the World Bank, and we're going to form it in a little town called Bretton Woods in New Jersey. And then we're going to dictate the world financial order. But it's a world order. These are my questions now. You know very well the potential that other countries have to survive or to grow or to develop. But you don't want that, because then what that means is that it puts you out of power.
Correct. Power. Did you say power?
I said power.
No.
I actually said power.
Indeed. And it's sad because as you do that, you begin to realize there are a lot of underhand dealings that happen. So it would be good to explore that so we see who benefits, who really benefits.
Who really benefits.
Yeah.
Dustin Barter is a development and humanitarian researcher. Timothy Kiprono is a public finance, governance and climate finance expert. We'll have the conversation to wrap up the week with these two gentlemen at 9 o'clock. So that's what it looks like in the Situation Room this morning. Karibuni sana, thank you for joining us, and let's get into it proper today. Sawa sawa. Let's go to our last day of Proverbs from Guinea. You might like this one.
Ta-da-da-dun.
Your beauty will
My beauty.
Yes, your beauty will take you there, but your character will bring you back.
My beauty will take me there, but my character will bring me back. Very good. Yeah. That's a very deep, sounds easy. As easy as it sounds, it's a very deep proverb. Because it talks about appearances and character.
Yeah.
And the value or the net worth of you as a human or anything. So it's like you might get attracted to something. But then in time, the more you spend time with it, the more in-depth you grow.
Yeah.
To be in that situation or with a person, you realize they are either much more or it was just very superficial.
Yeah.
So it's like it's an element of time. I'm hearing the element of time, that time does justice. Actually, time just does justice. In time, you will know.
Exactly.
In time, it will be revealed.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, you just think of it as a direct and say that the beauty may have drawn you in, but is it going to keep you in?
There. Yeah.
Absolutely. So those are some of the things that we look at that could just be superficial in nature, but there's some depth that we actually should be looking forward to when it comes to certain things, right?
Yep.
All right, an interesting one. The Guineans have had some good stuff for us to get onto this week.
Oh, yeah.
And so let's see what folks have to say about that as we get into it. Speaking of folks, how about we say good morning to you, where it is you're tuning in to the Situation Room this morning. Karibu, let us know where you're tuned in from. It'd be great to then say a quick hello to you as we get into things this morning. So folks are waking up, going to bed in different parts of the world, and it's always lovely to then be able to connect with you every day. It's the last Friday of March, just in case you're wondering, it being the 27th, and a very good morning to you, Peter Kiari, tuning from Mombasa. You'll end up really disappointed. You go through life thinking people will do for you as you do for them. Not everyone has the same heart as yours. You do good to remember that, by the way. And that don't expect everybody to act the way in which you do.
Yep.
And on both sides, by the way. I saw another quote where it says that you better be careful how you treat everybody, because you're not the one who owns the property on being mad. All of us can be terrorists.
Oh, yeah. Indeed. There's a wolf. There's a wolf and a cub in each and every one of us. So anything could come out. And again, time and season do change. Sometimes we confuse someone's season for like a state of permanency.
Yeah.
Then when the tides and the tables turn, you're like, I wish I wasn't as
I was.
able.
Georgia Timo says, good morning, tuned in Spice family. Rongo is listening. Good morning to you. Abaka said, what crimes Okay, started asking hard questions already. Robert Iboga, good morning from Mombasa and good morning from London. Amazing Gen Z Baraza yesterday. I loved it. Rahim Tula. Folks said, we've been here all this time. You're telling us to come back tomorrow? No. We're staying here. We need to register for this thing. Is everybody okay? Yes, we're okay. What is the reason why you don't want us to register? Guess what?
The kit, huh?
Oh, the kit, I don't know, did what, I don't know, blah, blah. Fix it. Dear Eliza, fix it. We are here.
Yep.
And we are going to register today.
Yes.
We're not going back.
No,
You want us to sleep here? We are here. This is the fire that I hope doesn't go out.
It will not go out.
Yeah.
The revolution is on. What it happens is that it keeps on taking different shapes and forms, and seasons will change, but it stays on. People are determined to take back their country. So I love that spirit. So, tuko kadi.
Kabisa. George Ademo says, good morning, listening in. What crimes and constitutional violations does Kenya have for us? Does Kenya have for us today? Oh, let's see. You'll be interesting to see what's on the front page of the Standard today.
Oh, yeah, we got
some
lots,
good fun.
Lots. We never run short of.
Never. Good morning, Spice family. Minneapolis here. Mukokadi. Zach, okay, we see you. Very good morning to you. Leo, it's Joe here this morning listening to politicians. You fail to understand whether it's deliberate attempts to ensure the citizen remain dependent on them or the old dependency on the presidency. Well, that's a good question. The Lord says good morning. The Lord. Yes. The Lord says good morning. Leon Ile Siku, when the rubber hits the road to know which way ODM, it will be very clear. The clearing is a fast approaching. Good morning, Team Spies. Tuning from Lunga Lunga borders. The Situation Room says Chayam. Lunga Lunga is where?
Kwale.
Not Lunga Lunga Road.
No, not Lunga Lunga Road.
Industrial area.
Yeah, it's a border to Tanzania from Mombasa, Kwale, Likoni.
Voila.
Yes,
okay.
Yes. A beautiful place indeed.
Okay.
Yes.
So now I want to go.
You shall go.
Okay.
Yes.
Jennifer Ateni says, good morning, and fellow Spicians. Tuned in for a great conversation. Karibu sana kabisa. Faith Musio says, good morning. It's Thursday here in San Francisco. I'm very tuned into Spice to keep updated on Kenyan matters. Karibu sana, my sister. As we're getting into Friday, you are still on Thursday, but good that we can do this together. Leo says, Mimdio Sufuna SG or ODM is today holding a People MDC, which will carry the day, Tumbocracy or real ODM. Eric Owora says, good morning, brother. Karibu sana. Joe Mungai says, tuned in this morning from Bonnie Lake in Washington. I hope it's not going to be another day of chaos. Knock on wood, bro. I hope it's not. Set for the show, says Vintage Jokes. A very good morning to you. Happy weekend to all Spice people. Thank you so much. Good morning, says Christina. I enjoyed Nico Kadi campaign on KTN. These are the conversations we want to have to mechoka kutulete old politicians. Okay. Rahim Sula is asking, Ndu and Joe, are you a cat or dog person? I'm definitely a dog person. My mom has 8 dogs. We grew up with dogs the whole life.
I speak dog.
You speak... Woof, woof.
Yes, I'm a dog person.
So both dogs.
I might have a cutie on me today,
but
I'm a dog person.
Okay, we're dog people. There's your answer.
Yeah,
Wanda says, good morning. Tuning from Toronto. Happy Friday, Ndu and Joe. It's 11:15 p.m. and I can't go to bed without listening to at least 1.5 hours of this great show. My sister, you're the one. You get it. Karibu.
Yes.
Mashari Anjero says, good morning, tuned in, Ndu and Joe from Portland in Oregon. Good morning to you. Brian says it's raining here in Kirinyaga and we're still locked on Spice. Rain or shine? That's what we're talking about. Okay, so Christina Ocheng says, Joe, is it Rinda or Linda? It says it's Rinda, not Linda. Rinda is a skirt. Linda is kuchunga.
Oh, to guard.
To guard, right.
Okay.
So Rinda is the skirt. Okay, here we go. Ivan Amonde says, the blind ombudsman has been tuned in from Garissa Town loud and clear this week. Karibu sana. Otherwise, Linda, uko salama. Oh, Linda ni wewe. Rinda is the other one. All right. So Wanda tells us that brain rot is accelerated by too much screen time.
Right.
So there's a definite connection between the two. We're going to hear about that at 7 o'clock. Good morning, the situation from Tuko Pamoja Hadi Tamati. Where is Tamati?
At the end, until the end.
Oh, until the end.
Yes, the proverbial end.
Okay, got it. Bwangi Chuma says, good morning, Spice FM. How are you all this blessed Friday? Very good, thank you. For the day, tuko tayari kulinda mwananchi kabisa. Madly says, good morning, y'all. George Adima, we see you, Spice family. People register and vote full circle. Wait. UVE, uko kadi. Where is she? They're asking.
We need to know.
She's jumping, so that must be a yes.
Okay.
Mark Mwangi says, I'm hearing... I'm not quite sure what you're saying here. But let's fix that so we can understand what you mean. Makoya says, hello, the Situation Room. We don't want bloodshed anymore from the government securities. Enough is enough. It definitely is. Michael, good morning to you, Ndu and Joe. Let's wait to see the tear gas will be directed to all two. Although your guess is as good as mine, but those of us who are being issued, okay, not quite sure there. James Kamau, hiya. Where is Miss Nganga? She's going to so like we told you yesterday, she's a political reporter and she's one of the powerhouses behind the political stories that you hear and see on KTN. So obviously today it means that she's out there already trying to cover those stories that will definitely be big ones today. My take on the proverb is that all that glitters is not gold. Okay, correct. Beautiful without brain character is everything. Or in this case, is nothing. Raphael says, good morning. Mark Mwangi, do you know they are coming after us because we contribute to the conversation? Who's coming after you?
Who's coming?
What do you mean? Who are those? Talk to us.
It's your right to have an opinion.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's conversation we're having.
Yeah.
And we keep it constitutional.
True.
Yeah.
I can say this openly. I'm so sure that my phone is tapped, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
I can just hear it every conversation that I can. I can hear the clicking. So I already know that happens and it happens regularly.
Yep.
And yesterday was just interesting because about 3 or 4 conversations that I had and the click was so prominent yesterday. I mean, I know these things happen.
We know they keep doing it.
They do it all the time. Yeah.
We encourage them to continue.
Yeah.
It is important they know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Because everything you're saying is the good of the nation.
Indeed.
Yes. So people, let's keep conversing. Do not be intimidated.
You keep having the conversation. Have the conversation. It's important for you to do that.
Yes.
So long as you're not doing anything criminal.
Yeah.
You're okay. So we're in good company, Mark. Eric Orr says, have you guys hosted Dance to the Mari this year? I just thought about him. Is he okay? He's okay. It's been a while since we've had him, actually. Adala Calvin says, looks a short-term strategy. If you want longevity and respect, you have to cultivate the person you are on the inside. Good morning, folks. Kabisa. And Karibuni Sana, everybody. As we get into this conversation this morning, thank you. It's a rainy morning in Nairobi and other parts of the country, but we're going to keep fire burning and we're going to keep it alive and we're going to warm up things as we get into these conversations. So, Evie, how do you want it? You want us to take a break or let's continue going into the headlines? Well, let's do it. And let's start on. I told you that the bold newspaper today was going to give you that thing that you were looking for. On the front page of the Standard, Pesaflow heist. I'm telling you, J.J. Abrams, we are calling you this morning. Anybody who knows where he is. In fact, where is Wairimo? You are in San Francisco, and we know that he's a producer there. So do you know how we say, do you know you're going to Africa? Do you know my cousin? So now can you find J.J. Abrams now that you're in California? Pesaflow heist. Private account holding e-citizens billions. Does it make sense that there's a private account? Private account means on the account it reads Josephat Kamanya.
Yes.
And this is public money. The people that are in question, Frank Lawrence Ochieng Ware has 15,000 shares of e-citizen. Charles Wambani Sewe has 10,000 shares. Evid Araka Sibi has 10,000 shares. And Larry Ochieng Agoro has 10,000 shares. Pesaflow Limited, registered in 2017 and owned by Frank Lawrence Ochieng Ware, Charles Wambani Sewe, Evid Araka Sibi, and Larry Ochieng Agoro, stands at the center of the e-citizen scandal. The firm allegedly used an unapproved account at Equity Bank to funnel 6.3 billion shillings, and its opaque structure and overlapping dictatorships raise serious questions. Even as MPs are investigating, it was revealed that the directors' names can no longer be accessed from the government services portal. Just in case you are wondering, this story is in Kenya. It's not some covert countryless, nameless country somewhere in the Caspian Sea. It's Kenya. So the kind of money that we're looking at is being held in private accounts. Why should that be? So I did a couple of government services payments, and it's obvious that processing fee is 50 shillings. Every single payment you make, there's a 50 shillings processing fee. First of all, that fee was deemed unconstitutional in the very beginning.
Like double taxation.
It's double taxation because you're paying for government service and then you're being charged on top of that. Now, that money you can imagine how much it is. Again, I was at Nyayo House yesterday, and the droves of people for every single thing that they were doing yesterday. You can imagine that they'd already made a payment.
Yes.
Because you don't show up at Nyayo House if you've not made the payment. You only appear there after you've made the payment. So you can imagine all of those people. That was just in an hour.
Yeah.
I didn't stay longer than an hour. But all of that money making its way, and then you're being told you think it's to run government, right? To run government services that you need to
maintain the system.
Now we're being told it's in a private account.
And this story, the funny enough is that the MPs keep questioning our legislatures, our National Assembly, however incompetent we have deemed it to be. They keep asking, where is our money? So, and further than that, beyond that, the company was registered, I think, in 2019. Today, you try to do a search. It is a protected company. You cannot know who are the current directors. So that's the heist, actually. It's criminality. There is no way of sugarcoating it. We should be knowing who is, if the government for some reason decided to outsource a service, which we could say is okay, there should be accountability. We should be able to know who, where the money goes. Part of that convenience fees, how much was supposed to, go back to the government or not. Why is it a mystery?
I'm telling you,
Why?
It's crazy. It's crazy that this is actually going on. I mean, you search, it's a protected site, you don't know who it is. And this is public, should be open. You should know.
Yes.
It's your money. That it's hidden. And like you say, it seems to be a brush under the carpet scenario every time it's brought up.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. No, billions. You guys, when we make the connection between this money that you're asking. So you can imagine if 6.3 billion shillings is sitting somewhere.
Yes.
Then you wonder, why do you look for money? And then people say Kenya doesn't have money. It's poor, you're broke. You have 6.3 billion shillings
somewhere
generated from Kenyans. It's sitting somewhere in a private account. Then you have to ask yourself, what could you actually do? If you reduced by 50% corruption, 50%, I'm not even saying the whole thing, 50%, reduce it by 50%, what could you achieve? When we make the connection between this criminality that's going on and the fact that there are certain services within countries that you do not have, that's why Mukokadi.
And remember, just on Wednesday, we were reading on another 1 billion being held in a Swiss account. That whatever company was the one actually that came before the e-citizen. So you can imagine how many billions are just out there being pilfered. We are not poor. We have enough. I maintain that. We just need to get it right. We get rid of this poor leadership. We streamline our operational system, and then we'll be fine.
Okay.
Yes.
The question that you're asking Mark Mwangi about the private accounts is very clear. That why should these individuals, private account holding e-citizen billions, these individuals are the ones who have the private accounts where this money is being held.
Yes.
There is a trail for money, especially when it's sent in a digital form. If it leaves here and moves here, you can actually find out where it ends up.
Yep.
I'm sure if you Googled Mark, Frank Lawrence Ochieng, you'd find his picture. He's been in the room before. We've had him here.
Yep.
So this story, we'll look into the details of it, but just so you know, there's a heist, and that's what it looks like. E-Citizen probe audit reveals how Pesaflow account diverted 6.3 billion shillings.
And that is up to 2024, just for the
Just 2024. So even this one that I was talking about yesterday and last year, it's not even included in that money. Okay? So, just so you know, this is where you live. 30% of working Kenyans earn more through side hustles. So you see somebody sitting at their desk in the office doesn't necessarily mean that they're doing that thing. Or maybe we find people coming to work really tired. What does that mean? That they've left the office and they're actually off doing something else, running a business, doing something else for survival. Not because they're bored.
No.
For survival. So that should tell a story. Tech giants enter new era after court verdict on Meta and Google. Jury ruled their apps are deliberately engineered to be addictive, a ruling that has global implications. The firm must now pay $6 million in damages to a young woman who is the victim at the center of this case. I think this is interesting that we're having a brain rot conversation at 7 o'clock. EVE, you're a genius. You're like a small witch. How did you know?
Where's her broom?
Where's your broom? Badi warns of economic shock from conflicts in Middle East. Okay, so which one is it? Remember, no, you're not here yesterday. But yesterday when we were saying, okay, which one is it? No, it was you on Wednesday. Tell us, is there fuel or not?
Right.
Is there enough or not? Are you just trying to get us? So now, Mbadi, the treasury, his counterpart in energy said, these people sell petrol, sell it to people, don't hoard it. We have enough. Now, on the same Middle East conflict, Mbadi's warning that it might look a little bit interesting if it continues in the way it is. If the conflict escalates and the Strait of Hormuz is not opened, because we're looking at a 30-kilometer stretch, this strait, but that it's moving. This was the first week where not one ship moved through the strait.
Right.
So that's when you start to feel the pressure. And if this continues, it escalates over time, and it's nothing moving again into another week, then we're going to actually start to feel this thing.
Yes, we will.
We will.
There will be impact, significant impact, actually. But I think now the government needs to straighten their narrative. You know, at one point you cannot be telling people we're okay, then you start selling on the other side, mongering fear. Bandi said that they had projected 5.3% economic growth in the year 26-27. Now they're saying that might drop to 5.1. So come on, get your story right.
Once, it would be nice.
At least.
So yesterday we saw that the Political Parties Tribunal came back with a ruling, and they said, actually, you know what you need to do, ODM? Go sit, figure out your thing. It doesn't bar, and if we can read and understand some of these, that it doesn't bar him from asking questions within the party as per what goes on with his SG ship.
Yes.
So they've asked ODM to go internal and figure this out. They've allowed ODM to actually go ahead and have the NDC, which they're having today, if they're going to figure out and cement party leadership. But essentially, this ruling, because everybody was confused, does it mean that the ruling means that he's no longer SG? No, that's not what it says. It just means that you now go back and use your internal party mechanisms to figure it out. Because you've not exhausted all elements within the party.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, let's see how it goes. That's an interesting conversation.
It is an interesting one. Sonko had 574 million shillings frozen by the Asset Recovery Authority.
Yes.
And the court now, the Court of Appeal comes back and says that the High Court, which gave the order to freeze the funding, ruled out of... It was a mistake, essentially. So he essentially can have his money back. Pesautas. Hey. Now, somebody, you wake up on Friday morning and you have returned your 574 million. Hey, I can buy an island just to show you that where.
Yeah.
Defining moment for ODM as key parallel meeting slated for today. I think it's interesting that this is actually going the way it is. Let's see. Parents have been urged to confirm national exams registration before the 31st of March. Okay, thanks. Today is the 27th. Hello?
Yeah.
The 31st is on Tuesday. What are you talking about? These are Form 4s only? Or who are we saying? Because there's KEPSEA, there's KJSEA. Confirm the registration of your child. Okay, KNEC has decided that it needs to be done. I think this is everybody across board. Yeah. Indeed, it is. It's KJSEA, it's KEPSEA, and it is KCSE. The Examination Council has intensified its warning that there will be no late registration beyond 31st of March. Do you see now, Wahala? Today is the 27th.
4 days.
Come on.
Actually, it's just 2 days. So Monday. You only have Monday. Why the urgency?
I don't understand.
Who is in charge of planning? I mean, or what is a plan? I would want to know what teachers... According to them, what is a plan? You know, because you should have a schedule, a calendar of events. You know, these kids have been in school since January, right?
Okay, why didn't you tell them? Why didn't you tell all of us when we opened school in January? I don't understand. Then you now want to do fire on the mountain. You've been pregnant all this time. Then on the day of your EDDs, when you say, wait,
you know the small witch you were talking about earlier. We need her broom.
We need your
broom to sweep clean.
All this nonsense.
Yes.
Come on.
Yes.
Why are we treating it as an emergency when it is not?
It is not.
It is not an emergency. You start this term where you know that exam registration needs to happen by a certain date.
Yep.
Guess what? When the school year opens, that's when you say it.
And exams don't happen until November.
Hello? I don't know if anybody's home. Okay. Maybe somebody's home, but the lights are definitely not on.
So you ask them, you go smoke your boo.
You don't smoke your tire, I beg. Ask Joe what his boy is. You don't smoke, I'm tired. You never clear your eye, I beg. Please, tell us what's in the nation.
The Daily Nation, yes. Talks about a first delegates meeting since Odinga's death. is about the ODM's crucial test post-Raila. We have the two people, the controversial SG and the chair. No, not the chair, the party leader.
The party leader.
Yes, I'm sorry, the youth leader, the party leader on the front page. At the bottom there, you have how Iran war will hurt you. As Ruto warns oil dealers. They've been accused of hoarding the product.
Yes.
They don't want to let it out in the market. They want to create a shortage, superficial one.
Yeah.
That's the allegation towards hiking the price. So the president is saying, do not dare.
Don't try.
So a protracted US-Israel conflict with Iran threatens to cut fuel and fertilizer supplies to Kenya, as well as disrupt exports to markets, particularly in the Middle East, with a likely spike in consumer prices. President Ruto has warned oil farms against exploiting Kenyans. That story continues on page 2 and 3. It also talks about tea, our exports. And other and horticulture stuff that have been going to the UAE might be affected if this war was to protract.
Yeah.
So it's a two-way thing. So we need to find how to mitigate around that. And the issue of oil, as you said, if you don't get enough supply now, perhaps in a month's time, we may not be doing very well in our reserve. And that story continues on page 2 and 3. Then the ODM's crucial test, post-Raila as party critical organ meets. He says, although SDC, the Special Delegate Conference, offers Oginga chance to stamp authority, consolidate power, it also opens up party to internal fights and court battles. ODM party leader Oburu Oginga secured a Pyrrhic win yesterday, allowing his orange function to proceed with a contested Special Delegate Convention amid intense commotion that threatens to tear it apart. The ruling by the Political Party Dispute Tribunal opened up the party to further power struggles and protracted court battles, pitting rival faction of Linda Ground of Dr. Oginga and Linda Mwananchi of SG Edwin Sifuna. While allowing the party to proceed with the SDC, the tribunal also handed Mr. Sifuna a lifeline, ordering that he remain in office until internal dispute resolution mechanisms are exhausted. The story continues. We see how that develops. I think by the end of the day, we'll have known. You also realize you're being treated to a lot of audited reports.
Yes.
In the dailies.
Yes.
Because the financial years are coming to an end.
Quickly.
So it is important that you stay tuned. Just check on whatever companies you have shares, to know how they're doing. You have Kenya Reinsurance today. You also have the Cooperative Bank.
Okay.
Did you know your judges will, in the judiciary,
Here we go.
we still retain the car grant of up to 10 million, paid every 4 years. The court lost that. SRC lost the bid. I wonder how they thought they could win.
I actually, it's interesting because I figure, okay, so SRC says maybe we need to reduce the amount of money that you spend on vehicles every year because obviously we know it's a certain class.
Yeah.
The judiciary takes the SRC to court. Or rather, they're trying to sort this thing out in court.
Yeah.
The house always wins, my friend.
There you have it. There are no ways. There's no better way of putting it.
It was not going to happen.
It wasn't going to happen. Page 12 of the Daily Nation has an interesting story. The Nation Media Group unveils Mimim Kenya campaign. So they're saying the Nation Media Group yesterday launched the Mimim Kenya Civic Engagement Initiative aimed at empowering Kenyans to participate meaningfully in issue-driven national conversations. The initiative comes at a time when the country is gearing up for next year's elections. Mimim Kenya provides a structured, credible, and accessible space for engagement, connecting citizens directly with leaders and fostering discussions grounded in lived realities. It will feature nationwide town halls, policy-focused conversations, and forums designed to counter misinformation and provide verified information to support informed decision-making. That public forum, we should occupy. Yeah, you're not going to change the narrative midway. Yes, but it's a good initiative.
It is.
Anything for peace, I support.
100%.
Everything for participation, I support. But at the end of the day, the narrative has to be realistic.
To remain the same.
Yes. So continues the vault heist. Did you know? You are talking off from the Standard.
Yeah.
The Pesaflow heist.
Yeah.
Let me treat you to another heist.
Oh my God. Okay, here we go.
My all-favorite person,
Lady.
Nancy, says, now, Auditor General faults taxman, that is the KRA, for failing to report the cases to investigating agencies. You know what cases are? I'll tell you. The Kenya Revenue Authority has been hit by multiple burglaries orchestrated by a sophisticated tax evasion syndicate. Nearly 24 million excise stamps were stolen from the Times Towers headquarters vault.
Oh, stop it.
The taxman safe was raided in the 3 years leading up to 2025. When one KRA staffer has been fired after being implicated in vault breaches. Please. It's called a point of privilege. When you raise your hand, point of privilege, speak.
This vault, is
Yes.
it outside, standing like on Kenyatta Avenue or like on Kimathi Street where Dedan Kimathi's statue is? Is this somewhere?
No, you know that heavily guarded building
Is
called
it
Times Towers?
inside Time Towers?
Not just at the reception, somewhere below.
In the belly
Yes.
of the hair. So you can't just walk in and
No.
stroll in and say, excuse me, I want to see where your timestamps vault is. Will you let me in? It's not like that, Abi.
No.
Heavily guarded.
Correct.
There are only a few people who maybe would have the code to
Yes,
get in.
yes.
And then if you needed to get in with special permissions or things like that, they would have to be granted at your boss's level. Abi? Okay. So in order for anybody to get in, it had to be somebody who was inside.
Yes.
Okay.
In October alone, 2024, courtesy of the haste, they lost 120 million.
Of course they did.
Yes. So, Kerry is reported to have lost terms for tobacco, alcohol, water, soft drinks, and other products in thefts that have been going on for at least 3 years. It is not a one-off haste. You know, remember Flintstone?
Yeah. Fred.
I think their vault, their safe was safer than the ones they're having at KRA.
Than this one.
Yes.
You know, we are laughing because at some point, you don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Isakale, I hear you, brother. Do you cry? Do you shout? Do you, those things that they used to do in the Bible, whereby they used to rip their clothes and then wear sackcloth and pour ashes on their head? Yeah, are you supposed to do that?
A different note. What was the proverb again?
Beauty only gets you in, it doesn't keep us coming back.
Yeah. There's a story on the Nairobian. It's a sad story about an obsessed ex-boyfriend, Elvis Opio, who leaves singer Mary Claire fighting for life. Break up to ban inside the horror of love's revenge. Apparently, a chilling revenge plot where love curdled into hate, spiraling into obsession, control, and betrayal, before exploding in a savage, premeditated attack that left Choir seeing a band broken and fighting for her life. Now the city reels in outrage, while questions swirling over obsession, entitlement, and the dangers that can lurk behind closed doors. This story is a very sad story.
It is.
You find it on page 4 and 5 of the Nairobian. I think she was somebody sprinkled acid, sulfuric acid
On her.
And she was in company of her friend who also somehow got her hand injured. But why, good people? We said be decent humans. If your love journey has come to an end with your
Walk
person,
away.
please kiss and say goodbye.
Yeah.
Kiss
Leave
and say
it
goodbye.
alone.
Let it go peacefully.
I promise you, you'll be okay.
You'll be fine.
You will.
You
You'll
will.
hurt a little, but you'll be fine.
Actually, you were okay before you met this person.
Yeah.
They became a very good phenomenon in your life. It is okay. You had good, bad, sad, happy moments. But if it has come to an end, please successfully conclude your relationship
And go your separate
and
ways.
go your separate way.
This is not necessary at all.
No.
It isn't.
No.
Because yes, this person is hurting. She's fighting for her life. But
Yeah.
guess what? You wear the scarlet letter on your chest for the rest of your
For
life.
the rest of your life. Now you ruined your life. You're
Yes,
going
you
to
have.
jail.
Yes, you are.
My friend. You're going to jail. And then you've scarred another person for life. Please. A conversation for another day. And especially men. Yani ukiachwa achika.
Tafadhali.
If she does not want you anymore,
Leave
it is okay.
Leave it.
Yes, she's not your rib. You know, you told a woman to find your
This
rib.
one is not your rib.
This is not your rib. So
Yeah.
don't insist. Yes, please. And quick recovery to her.
I pray.
And how I hope that we don't have such again.
I pray so. The front page of the Star talks about the battle for the Raila party as warring factions conduct parallel meetings. Obviously, that is what is going to be on political tension today. And it's always great to see these stories where a nurse, and she's the founder and CEO of Reno Roads, Naomi Monari, she's converted a lorry into a mobile dialysis facility. You see how people have to do things like that because your facilities are just not adequate. That's the thing we're talking about today. IEBC also, according to the Star, is in the race to list 2.5 million voters in this 30-day drive. Let me tell you a secret, IEBC. Actually, we just advise giving you for free. You think this 2.5 million that you want in the next 30 days?
Yeah.
One of the surefire ways to doing this is to ensuring that the offices where people are coming to register are actually functioning.
Yes.
I mean, it's like rocket science. It's like great stuff.
Yeah.
But if the offices where people are registering are functioning and that your equipment is working, let me tell you, with the verve and the vim that Kenyans have right now to register, you'll meet that. In fact, let them help you. Let Kenyans help you in this job that you are being paid to do. But let Kenyans help you. And all you need to do is ensure that your equipment is functioning and that you don't have buffoons at your offices who are stopping people from registering. I swear, it's like magic. If you have those things, this 2.5 that you're looking for, you'll get more in 30 days. Just make sure that your processes are working smoothly. Don't come and tell us that you're in a drive to register 2.5 million people, and then you go and put Monkey and his brother at the door who are stopping people from registering, number one, or you want to tell them that the machine is not working. Who told you? In fact, they said we want to see the machine. How are you telling us it's not working?
And one would even project, I don't want to, but I have to. Are they imagining that on the 10th of August 2027, they'll tell us the kits are not working? But before we get to that, somebody asked about Danstan Omari. And if he can hear us, can he tell us whether IBC is guilty of neglect of duty? Should we sue them? Do we need to move some people from that office and hire competent people? Because if the kits are supposed to be at a certain location, I'm sure the first thing they do in the morning when they report
check if
is
it's
to
working.
check if it is working. Again, they know how many people perhaps they can register in a day. You know, like the voting, you can only do 700 in one station. They know how many people a kit can take. So they should know. If a kit can only register 200, please have like, what do you call those stamps? That you only allow 200 people to be there for the day and make sure they are all fully registered. I mean, and there was Commissioner, I forget his name.
Alutalala.
I would want him to hear. I would want to hear him. They need to pronounce them. They need to bring the confidence to the wananchi.
You will not get public confidence by this thing that we are seeing. Voter suppression agreed upon by people who are civic educators, who understand the processes of elections. I'm telling you it's real. You don't have to come out and say don't vote in order for voter suppression to be real, and it's not imagined. That there are ways in which you can actually suppress it. On one hand, you're saying come out and vote. On the other hand, there are things that you're tweaking to make sure that people don't come in. My friend, these things are real.
And also now the administrative arm of government. The chiefs are holding about 2 million
ID cards. That's another way of voter suppression.
Another way of voter suppression. Please make sure you go and collect your ID. Show up at the IBC office. If they don't register you, make noise.
That's it.
Take a video, post it.
Something.
We will help you.
Kenyans, in this place where you are woke,
you
need to stay woke. What do you need to do? Turn coffee into pellets so that you'll be popping them like groundnuts to stay woke. This is imagery that I'm using here. But do what you need to do to be very awake to the realities that we're talking about. This is apolitical. Understand me in this. It's apolitical. We are saying that it's a process that must be fulfilled. You need to make sure that you are deconstructing the challenges that are standing in the way. You need to go in and put your finger in a Kim's kit to register. Do it. Stay there till it is done.
Please do. Because they keep telling us voting, an election is a process. It is not the event that happens on the voting day. Part of that process is getting the registration right. So please, people, stay woke.
Stay woke.
Stay woke.
And that girl who said, we've been here for 6 hours. We don't mind staying another 3. Fix your machine. I love it for you, my sister.
Much respect to her. You know what she said? I was here yesterday. I'm here today. And I'm still going to be here tomorrow. And I am jobless, so I'm paying bus fare. I'm
you.
still living in my mom's house. She understands the power of the vote. If you see her, wherever she is, please.
We're looking for her.
We are looking for her.
There you go.
Thank you.
It's 7 a.m., folks. Good morning.
This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day.